Thank you, Ms Forbes. And I now call Ruth Maguire to be followed by Miles Briggs. Ms Maguire.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'd like to congratulate Kate Forbes for securing this important debate and in highlighting the positive impact of charities, community and voluntary groups and other non-profit distributing organisations. Third sector organisations are often the backbone of any community. They'll offer a range of services, often helping to alleviate societal difficulties such as food poverty, and loneliness and social isolation. They generally make life better. I'm sure everyone here can think of many organisations across their constituency who do just that. For myself, from the community larders providing access to groceries and Clasp Hope project and their work with older citizens, to the larger charities like Bernardo's and Aberlour, just to name a few. And with the Westminster-induced cost of living crisis, it is these types of organisations who are helping to plug gaps in previously publicly funded services, while, the same as everyone else, navigating rising costs and inflation. In doing so, they contribute and help reduce public expenditure, as was highlighted by the Royal Society of Edinburgh. Thousands of organisations who help to balance our delicate social fabric. During my time as convener back in 2019 of the Equalities and Human Rights Committee, we published a report about valuing the third sector. In that report, the economic contribution of the third sector was recognised to be comparably higher than the whisky industry and not far behind the Scottish tourism sector. Recent figures published by SCVO for 2022 showed that the economic contribution was now £9.2 billion, up from £8.5 billion in 2021, while spending was £8.8 billion, up from £7.9 billion in 2021. Now, despite the growth in the third sector, its contributions remain obscured, as outlined by Kate in her opening, and its struggles are pretty unrelenting. Age Scotland reported in the findings from their survey, Keeping the Doors Open, in June 2022, that securing funding was a recurring issue. They expressed views that multi-year funding would be beneficial for increased financial security and the delivery of longer-term projects, and that single-year funding models, which required them to show their impact in just a year, made it more likely that they would only be able to interact with communities they already engaged with. Another thing that was picked up in that 2019 report I was speaking about was the impact on staff of single-year funding. And of course, these staff employed in our communities are hugely important. The Royal Society of Edinburgh's report, echoed by the SCVO's latest finding from the Scottish Third Sector Tracker, continues to identify finances as a top priority. I understand that the Scottish Government are working with other statutory funders to consider how partnership working can be encouraged in a competitive funding environment, and I'd be interested to know how their findings are being used to design and develop meaningful collaboration between all sectors. Economic activity should serve a purpose to meet everyone's basic needs and improve our collective health and well-being so that all of Scotland's people and places can thrive and prosper. The voluntary sector meets the vision of the National Strategy for Economic Transformation by harnessing innovation, entrepreneurship, research and development, partnership and prevention, and supporting people into employment. Building successful, trusting relationships between the third and public sectors is achievable. We saw it during the pandemic. The third sector played a key role in supporting the public sector, and it was evident that existing relationships became stronger and new ones were created. There was the removal of bureaucratic barriers alongside joined-up working, which empowered people to work together quickly and efficiently. That made such a difference to folk on the ground. It was a better way of working. So fairer funding opportunities, balanced power and resources for third sector organisations can help overcome barriers and recognise our vision for Scotland as a wellbeing economy. Presiding Officer.